So right now what we're talking about is figuring out our slope or our rate of change from a graph. So we're no longer working with an equation. We're actually going to be given the graph, and we've got to figure out the slope and the rate of change. These two words, they mean the same thing. They go hand in hand, okay? Now, our slope or our rate of change is just the change in our y values over the change in our x values. And you might see that written as, this is called delta y, delta x. These triangles just mean change in. So we've got how our y's are changing over how our x's are changing. Okay, a formula that some of you might like to know, you can take your second y value minus your first y value, put that over your second x value minus your first x value. So finding the difference in your y values, putting that over the difference in your x values. Okay, that's our change in y over change in x. That's how we find our slope or our rate of change. So looking at number 1, slope or rate of change. Okay, now we know that's our change in our y over our change in x. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to my graph. I've got 2 points. I need to find my change in y first. Y-axis is the up and down. I'm going to start with my left point, and I've got to figure out what's my change in y to get down to the second point. So on my y-axis, that means from this point I'd have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went down 6, so that's negative 6. My change in my y was negative 6. Now for my x, from here I've got to go to the right 1, 2. Moving to the right's positive, a positive change of 2. So my change in x was positive 2. Negative 6 divided by 2. Okay, you would plug that in on your calculator. It's just negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. Okay, another way to do this that some of you might like, it'll actually help with the next section of this, is using this formula. Okay, so my first point right here was at 1, 2. My second point down here was at 3, 4, negative 4. Okay, that's a negative. It was at 3, negative 4. So if I used this formula that I gave you guys, my difference in my y's over the difference in my x's, okay, I could take this second y value, which was negative 4, minus the 2. I could put that over changing my x's. So 3 minus 1. Okay, so all I did was take the difference in my y values, negative 4 and 2, change in my x values, 3 and 1. Negative 4 minus 6 is negative 6. 3 minus 1 is 2. Negative 6 over 2, same thing, gives me negative 3. Okay, it doesn't matter which way you do it as long as you're taking your change in your y's, okay, over your change in your x's. You'll still get a rate of change or a slope of negative 3.